I think you can probably see this okay, right? Okay, so I'm beginning in C major with the page 1. Now I'm going to turn this into a chord of the 6th, and I'm going to start modulating upward. Now, instead of using the F natural here, I'm using the F sharp to go to G major. A nice little cadence in G major. Now I'm going to start the page 1 in the key of G. And now I'm going to turn this chord into a chord of the 6th and do the descending 7/6 going down. So I'm going back toward the key of C major. I use the F natural. And here's a little cadence. 5/1 in the key of C major. And so I'm going to try to do the same thing again. I'm just going to break it up with some figuration now. How about I'll do turning this into a chord of the 6th, starting to go up. Here comes the F sharp, which brings us into the key of G major. Now I'm going to start the page 1 in G major. Turn it into a chord of the 6th. I'm going to modulate down using the descending 7/6. A little bit of a cadence. Any questions before I add in the crescenza? Okay, so we worked on this last week, the crescenza. So basically what it is, I'm demonstrating it in C major still, right? So the C major chord is going to turn into a secondary dominant. It's going to turn into the dominant of F major, okay? So that means we're going to be adding a B flat into it. And you could say that this is going to be a C7 chord, which of course leads to F major. And now we're going to come back to the key of C major. I'm going to do it again, okay? So it's like a C7 chord, which leads to F major. We're going to come back to C major, using the dominant 7 of C major. Okay. And of course you can break that up in many different ways to make it sound, it's a really beautiful pattern that I showed you some examples from various composers last week. I think it was mostly Beethoven and Bach. But yes, really a beautiful pattern. So how about I'll demonstrate plan B really quickly, okay? And then we'll go through the quiz in a few minutes. So plan B, again, this is a plan that you'd use in a major key, okay? And we're going to be modulating instead of to the dominant, so this time we're going to be modulating to the relative minor. And so we're doing that by going down with the 7/6. So this could be a very quick modulation. I'll just show you a very quick way that you could modulate here. Because like basically, if I'm in C major, if I'm modulating to the relative minor, I'm potentially only going down by 3 notes there, right? So let's say that I start with page 1 again. then I begin the sequence on this chord. Now, if I go down, I'm already in A minor. And of course, you can follow that up with some kind of a little cadence in the key of A minor. I'm going to do that again, okay? Starting in C major, turn it into the A minor 6/3 chord. Here comes the descending 7/6 modulation. This seventh is going to resolve into G sharp to bring us to an A minor chord. And a cadence in A minor. So if I continued, I would play the page 1 in A minor now. Now, if I did the ascending 5/6 to modulate back to the original key, it might be also very quick. See how I'm already back in C major, and then I would follow it up with a cadence in C major. Okay? And then just to finish this, that was a crescenza in C major. I'll do that again. So it's like a C dominant 7, which leads to F major. This is functioning like the dominant of C major to bring us back there. Remember that instead of using the full dominant 7th chord, so in the key of C, the full dominant 7th would be G, B, D, and F, right? If you leave the G out, you have B, D, and F. Technically, this is a B diminished chord, right? This can function, there are enough essential notes of the dominant 7th that the ear accepts it as a dominant 7th chord. So it has kind of the same function as a dominant 7th chord. You'll find that in a lot of cases, the examples of crescenza are going to be using that instead of a full dominant 7th chord. It's partly because we're playing at the moment usually in 3 voices. Like usually our left hand has 1 note to play, and our right hand's playing 2 notes. So the important notes of the dominant 7th chord are the 3rd and the 7th in this case. So when we leave out the root of the chord, it still has the same function. Okay. So are there any questions on this before I start going through the quiz?